Welcome everyone. Today's episode is a response to this video about transmaxxing what is Boymoder, and a lot of their focus is going to be on Vintology, which is a religion or ideology focused on what's best for society rather than individual liberties or feminism. So obviously this is going to be unpopular and some of the takes are going to be controversial. But it's important to emphasize that Vintology and transvaxxing are separate. Vintology never really got traction because it was too radical, while transvaxxing, while controversial, still got the following. And the people who joined our community and are leaders for our community, they are interested because of transmaxxing and the transmaxxing ideology, which I try to keep separate because it is while related, it's still a different focus, because transmaxxing is focused on people improving their lives. It's not really focused on improving society. There can be societal advantages with promoting it, but our focus is allowing people to live better lives, even if it means going against feminist dogma.
Okay, onto the video, transmaxxing. Thank you to my newest patron, Femby Spider Gwen, who requested this video. Transmaxxing. What is it? Is it problematic? Who's it for? So I've dived into this a little.
Transmaxxing is for all people looking for a better life as a female.
This past week, and it's quite depressing, it's quite dark. Transmaxxing is a concept thought up by, unfortunately, an incel paedophile cult called Vintology.
It was by me pretty much alone.
Is some nasty stuff. This is just a small excerpt from the Vintology manifesto. They call it their Bible, the Vintology Bible. 13 is a good age for a female to start breeding.
This is true, like if you want to maximize reproductive success for a female, there is not really any point in delaying it, because fertility actually peaks before 18.
And here's a scary part. It's easier to force a young female to have children, since it would be difficult for her to flee or fight back. It is
easier, but this is not the only reason.
Easier to rape children because they don't fight back, basically.
I mean, the actual policy isn't limited to people under 18. It's for all females who you select, which is about 5%.
That's what they're saying. It is very unlikely a female will be monogamous with an unattractive male. I feel like some projection is going on here. We should reduce females to property and have her raped over and over again. This can continue until she has given birth 20 times. She will get physically punished and restrained if she tries to resist. Okay, that's enough of that. I can't read.
I mean, of course there are other ideas for raising the fertility rate. The difference is that all those more liberal ideas just don't work. So we have to look at authoritarian methods for raising the fertility rate among females suitable for that. You might be able to rise fertility rate by like more liberal methods, or like giving people like money for having children, but it's going to be ineffective, and you're not being able to control which females actually have more children.
Any more of that? These are just a couple of sentences in the transmaxxing Vintology Bible.
It's the Vintology Bible. It's not about transvaxxing really. There are a few pages about it, but it isn't called transvaxxing. It's just about like transsexualism in general.
88 pages. That's a peculiar number to leave the page to leave the page numbers at, right?
It's 157 pages for the most recent version. You have to go all the way back to version 17 with the most recent being 32 to find the version that had 88 pages. And in that version I made it very clear that National Socialism is a bad ideology. It's a failed ideology that was a total disaster for Germany. And you have to be very careful with copying something that failed so badly. So for that reason I'm very reluctant to copy anything from Nazi Germany, even if there are some interesting aspects to National Socialism. Because you might end up copying something that just doesn't work very well, and then your entire society will fail again. You don't want to take the gamble, especially not when there are way more successful societies that you can emulate or improve upon.
Judging by the chapters on eugenics and diversity and the such likes, that's probably...
I mean, if you actually read the text, it says that societies that are inclusive and are valuable individuals to enter will have an advantage over societies that try to exclude people based on factors that don't matter. This is very different from, for example, conservative ideology or Nazi ideology is focused on what's best for society, rather than going after minorities you happen to dislike.
Not a coincidence. And I bring up the Vintology Bible just so you know exactly who is behind transmaxxing and the kind of people transmaxxing is advertising to or trying to attract. This is
I actually tried to convince incel to transition for a while, and I didn't have much success, so I kind of gave up on that, to be honest. I'm not against the idea, it's just they're not going to voluntarily take HRT. Maybe if you force them you can help them, but in today's liberal societies you cannot force people to transition, unfortunately.
For angry woman-hating incels.
No, it's not really for them. If you hate females, you're not really a good candidate because you're not you're not going to even consider turning yourself into something you hate, obviously. The people who transmax or people who like females and want to be one themselves. Or they might some actually like males, but I think most people looking at transfaxing, at least when they transition, sort of like females, or at least they want to be one themselves. A lot of them get turned on by being feminine.
Which is kind of ironic, really. They want to transition into what they hate. They're
obviously not
promoting rape while also promoting transitioning to female. Don't they understand? Unless they have a fetish for being raped.
There are people with that fetish, but that's not really the relevant part. The relevant part regarding Vintology is that it's 5% of the female population that are suitable for forced breeding, and the purpose with that is to fix dysgenic breeding and low fertility rate. This is the only effective method, and the future of society and humanity is more important than feminist and liberalism.
Something, I feel like there's a lot of projection going on in this Bible. So we know who created transmaxxing and the kind of minds they have and the kind of minds they want to attract. Let's move on from that. So what is transmaxxing actually? Transmaxxing is the act of an incel transitioning from...
It's about transitioning for the purpose of personal gain rather than focusing on gender identity or treating gender dysphoria. This is the definition the community voted on, by the way.
Male to female in order to gain access to sex. When you're an incel, they don't realize that they're incels through their own fault. They think, oh, it's because I'm ugly, it's because I'm not rich. They make excuses up like that.
This is a good example of them assuming where people are incel without actually having any evidence. And you will soon hear them talk about getting laid while having what they view as a terrible personality. So clearly there are other factors at play that they don't want to admit or affect us.
It's not because their attitude stinks. It's not because they send death threats to women. It's not because
most people cannot get laid, they don't send death threats. Like, sure, there are some people that do that, but they did like after getting rejected 1000 times maybe. And like even most people who get rejected, they don't really write on like incel boards or like are super public about it. There are a lot of like people who fail dating and don't talk about being failures because doing so isn't socially accepted. So a lot of males will shut up about like being failures and pretend that everything is fine with them.
they promote wanting to legalize rape. No.
You don't have to disclose your political opinions towards people you are dating. You can lie about your opinions to get laid if you want to. It might help.
And no, it's all women's fault that they're incels.
It's partly women's fault because women choose to stay single while males often want to date. This is the reason for the inceldom, because females choose to like stay single for years between like relationships. And this while desperate males want to have someone to date. And you can maybe blame that on the males, but in the past males didn't have to live up to those higher standards to get a girlfriend.
Women's fault that they don't have access to sex, and so they develop this world view that
Actually, if sex work and prostitution was more normalized, it will be way easier for males to just like buy access and satisfy the sexual needs that way.
that women have it easier. It's somehow easier to be a woman. It's better to be if you're
It is easier to be a woman in many ways, but at least it's generally better. You can enjoy life way more.
a woman. You get everything handed to you for
It doesn't say that in the transmaxxing manifesto.
free. You don't have to work for anything. You can have a shitty, stinky attitude and just become rich and famous. So they transition to gain access to what they believe to be female privilege.
What is female privilege?
I shit you not. I mean, here's their poster for their reasons that you should transmax if you're an incel. Access to the transbian dating pool. Boy, have I got bad news for them. If you're a shitty person, you're a shitty person. Nobody wants to be with a shitty person. Nobody wants to be with a nasty, mean person.
No, very soon they will contradict that by telling about how they get laid anyway.
What you look like won't change that. Transitioning won't magically make you attractive to good people. You have to change your attitude and your outlook and the way you treat people. So,
I'm not sure if you really have to change how you behave. The thing is, it's not really clear what the ideal personality is in the first place. There are different theories for that, and you can experiment by different personalities and be like an actor. But if you are actually attracted, you don't have to like all do this acrobatics. There will be other people instead like trying to pretend to have what you want. And this has actually happened to me. I had like female pretend to be interested in having children in order to keep me interested in them.
I used to be a monster. When I was a guy, I used to be a monster, and I'm not a monster anymore. And that's a lot of that is to do with HRT. So who knows? Perhaps if once they're on hormones, they'll stop being monsters too. Who knows? But I have a feeling.
The thing is, I don't even know if the personality was even detrimental for them getting laid. Because if you're like a bad boy and like feeling to dominate females, it might actually make them more interested because they like being like sexually dominated, because it's like it turns them on. And this is actually common in trans females too, by the way.
Feeling you will not get that access to the transbian dating pool. I certainly wouldn't want to date somebody who wants to rape 13-year-olds and forcibly breed them. And I think you'll be hard pressed to find any other transvians to date somebody like that too.
You don't have to disclose your political opinions to people you're dating in the first place. So even if you have some unpopular, correct opinion, you can just shut up about it.
Multiple orgasms from penile stimulation, being able to attract cis lesbians. I mean, this is very sex focused. You can see where their brain is at. It's all about sex for them. It's very sex centric. They think that they're owed sex. They think they
not
deserve.
necessarily. It's about getting sex through effort. In this case, maybe transitioning.
They think they should have access to it. And I'm sorry, that's just not how it works. Have you tried just being a good person? Have you tried making friends and conversing and treating people good with the respect they deserve? Have you tried that? And it makes me wonder how bad these people are. That
I have tried different methods for dating. What actually worked was just online dating. And then going for a relationship or sex right away.
That they can't get sex. Because, as mentioned, I used to be a monster, and yet I had 2 fiancés. I had 2 fiancés, multiple girlfriends. I had a regular and healthy sex life. Even I.
Maybe the personality didn't matter, or the director personality, you don't want to admit it. And to be clear, I don't know if they really had a bad personality or if they just got indoctrinated into feminists to believe their past self was bad.
Got sex as bad as I used to be. And believe me, I used to be bad. I was one horrible guy.
You
And
don't
yet,
really go into specifics for how they were bad, so I don't really know if they really had what most people would view as a bad personality. Or if it is just, I was like bad man because of bad reasons. Like, if you believe in like feminist, like it will twist your entire like thinking and make you think you're a bad person when you're not.
I got sex. So how bad must these people be that women run away from them?
I wrote the Mythology Bible and I got laid anyway. But of course I'm not a bad person, but they think I am.
And of course they blame women and not themselves and their own behaviour. And they've got this predatory idea that transitioning will somehow get them free sex.
I mean, as a male you need to be predatory in order to maximize your reproductive success. Otherwise, if you're not a predator, you're a prey.
Or that lesbians somehow owe them sex if they transition.
It's not about owing, they will get it easily if they become attractive.
Very creepy, very weird. High quality males will be attracted to you. Being able to extract resources from males, because you know that's all women do, you see. You know, all
it doesn't say that. It says that you can. It doesn't say how common it is for cis females to abuse that or use it. I mean, if males like throw you money, why not take it? Why be this dumb person or don't take advantage of dumb people? Like obviously, if there are people willing to pay you money, you should take their money and have fun with the money you get.
women are gold diggers.
Actually, most females don't really take advantage of males like that. They believe like in working for themselves for the most part.
It's you can see the misogyny driving this cult.
This is not about misogyny, like this is just a statement about reality. This is true, but the thing with feminists is that you have to deny reality. If someone states reality, they view them as a bad person for not agreeing with their delusional worldview.
Legal sex change becomes more viable. Cheaper car insurance. Yeah, transitions for cheaper car insurance.
It is at 17 for a reason, because it's the least important factor.
Getting diversity hired. You know, because women are dumb creatures. They can't get a job on merit. They just get diversity hired, you see.
I mean, if females could get hired just fine without diversity quotas, for example, to boards, you wouldn't need that. The reason for having diversity laws and gender quotas is because females fail at achieving those jobs, and often for good reason. They might not be suitable for those positions. So what feminist does is that it forces companies and governments to promote less qualified females, which is bad for society as a whole. But as a trans person, you can often take advantage of that, and of course a lot of turds will hate you for it. And the thing is, in many countries you don't even need to even transition for it. Might be able to just change your legal status and then get diversity hired or the cheapest car insurance in some areas at least.
So that's transmaxxing. If you're an incel, angry at the world, and you hate women, just become one. Become what you hate and get cheaper car insurance. Gotta stick it to the man. Or in this case, stick it to the woman.
It's not about that, obviously. Transmaxing about transitioning to improve your life.
The woman's got us down, man. This part makes me laugh. How to transmax. This is how you transmax. Watch anime. Watch anime and play video games as a girl. That will turn you into a woman. Rumors confirmed. Okay. So the people behind transmaxing, the people pushing it, and the overall ideology surrounding transmaxing is terrible and disgusting. So does that mean all transmaxers are bad? Or is transmaxing itself bad because of where it came from? An ideology around it? Well, no. I treat people as individuals. And if you've been an unlucky guy in your life and you feel like transitioning to female will make you happier in life, but it's not for misogynist reasons, not for spiteful reasons, then you do you. You're body, your choice. That's what we believe in, right? But if you're transmaxing because you think it'll get you free sex and you think it's the only way you can get sex, then I'd say take a good long hard look at yourself in the mirror first and maybe go see a therapist. Just ask yourself a few questions. How do I actually treat women? Am I a nice guy?
They claim to be nice guys, but we all know they're not.
Do I give them the creeps. I'll give you a few hints. Women have a sixth sense. They can tell when you're being predatory. They can tell when you're being insincere. Most relationships are born out of friendships. But if you're going into a friendship under false pretenses, if you're only friends with a woman because you're hoping for more, or you're hoping for something sexual, women can sense that. They know that. These incels, they're the type of people who claim that they're friend zoned. I'll let you into another secret. There's no such thing as the friend zone. If you're genuinely friends with somebody, then you're friends. And that's where real emotions come into play. That's when people genuinely enjoy being together and enjoying things together. And then that's where other emotions start to blossom. It happens naturally and not forcefully. But if you're friends with someone just because you hope, you just want to hang around enough and just hope for more, then you're not really friends. You're not their real friend. You're not actually a friend. You're a fake friend. So there can't be such a thing as a friend zone because you're not actually their friend. You don't want to be their friend. Right? They're not important enough to you to be a friend. They're just a piece of meat, a trophy that you want to chase after. And women can sense that. That's why you're getting rejected. Stop treating women like pets or property and start treating them like human beings. And I think you'll find access to sex will become a lot easier to you, because then people will want to have sex with you, because they can actually form a bond with you. But if you're a bad person and you're angry and you're bitter and you're predatory and you're always plotting and scheming, why would anybody want why would anybody want to be a friend? Why would anybody want to give you sex? Why would anybody want a relationship with somebody like that? So I think those issues you need to work on first. Work on your personality and attitude and outlook, and stop blaming your problems on other people, and look at how you can improve yourself, because unless you do